They say that only legends know the true cost of victory. What happens when unstoppable conquerors rise? Figures whose names shake the earth, whose armies bring down empires, and whose victories change maps forever, they leave behind tales that inspire awe, fear, and debate. Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, or Napoleon Bonaparte. Their victories echoed through history. But have you ever wondered about the places they conquered, the kingdoms they destroyed? Do they disappear forever, or do they find a way to endure? As we explore these legendary conquerors, ask yourself this: when a kingdom falls, does its spirit die too? Join us as we uncover the secrets of survival. We'll reveal what happens when legendary conquerors destroy dynasties, and what it takes to make sure that the music of civilization never stops playing. Buckle up for an adventure through time, because today we are talking about legends who built empires on the ruins of kingdoms. Alexander the Great, the young Macedonian king with dreams of conquering the world. In 336 BCE, he ascended to the throne of Macedon at the age of 20. His ambitions were boundless. Stretching far beyond the borders of his small kingdom, he envisioned a world united under his banner, free from the shackles of the past. After securing his rule in Greece, Alexander set his sights on the vast and mysterious East, where the mighty Persian Empire awaited. With a formidable army at his command, Alexander embarked on a journey that would change the course of history forever. His troops were a force to be reckoned with, comprising elite Macedonian infantry known as phalanxes, and a cavalry that struck fear into the hearts of their enemies. As Alexander led his forces across the Aegean Sea, the Greek city-states watched in awe and anticipation. Victories against the Persians at Granicus River and Issus further fueled his ambition. If you're enjoying the story, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next adventure. Now let's continue. Finally, in 331 BCE, the Macedonian army faced the Persian king Darius III at the Battle of Gaugamela. The clash of titans resulted in a decisive Macedonian victory, shattering the backbone of the Persian Empire. With the defeat of Darius, the road to Persepolis, the heart of the Persian Empire, was clear. But what happened next shocked the world. In 330 BCE, Alexander and his army arrived at the opulent city of Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Achaemenid Empire. It was a place where kings from across the ages had left their mark, where pillars of marble stood as silent witnesses to the grandeur of the Persian kings. However, as Alexander's soldiers poured into the city, the air grew heavy with destruction. Accounts tell of a frenzy of looting and arson, with fires raging through the magnificent palaces and archives that held the secrets of millennia. Among the most tragic victims was the Palace of the Thousand Columns, a testament to Persia's architectural prowess. Its towering supports of stone and brick crumbled into dust as flames engulfed them, turning the once proud palace into a smoldering ruin. Statues of Persian kings, symbols of their glorious past, were toppled and defaced. The library of Persepolis, rumored to house countless scrolls and texts, was not spared either. Its collection, which may have rivaled the famed Library of Alexandria, was lost to the flames. Many historians believe that this act of destruction was not solely motivated by greed or vengeance, but also stemmed from Alexander's desire to sever ties with the past and establish his own legacy. He wanted to erase the old order and make way for a new era, leaving behind a landscape reshaped by his conquests. The sack of Persepolis marked a turning point in history, a moment when the cultural landscape of the ancient world shifted irreversibly. As Alexander's armies moved eastward, they carried with them the seeds of cultural exchange and the flames of destruction that had consumed one of the greatest cities of the ancient Near East. But here's the twist. Despite the devastation, Persia did not fade into oblivion. The seeds of Persian culture had been sown too deeply to be eradicated by a single siege. Within centuries, the Parthian Empire arose, followed by the mighty Sassanids. They rebuilt the ruins, reclaimed Persian identity, and proved that Alexander could conquer their land, but not their spirit. Before we go on, make sure to tap that like button and subscribe. That way, you'll always be part of our next exciting story. All right, let's get back to it. Genghis Khan, born in 1162 in the rolling grasslands of Mongolia. His early life was a tapestry woven with threads of adventure, hardship, and the constant pursuit of unity among the nomadic tribes of his homeland. As a young man, he emerged as a charismatic leader, uniting the warring Mongol clans under his banner. By 1206, he had established the Mongol Empire, setting his sights on the vast and diverse realms to the north and east of Mongolia. The first to feel the impact of Genghis Khan's ambition were the Kara Khitai, a Turkish nomadic confederation that posed a significant threat to the expanding Mongol domain. In 1218, the Mongol armies clashed with the Kara Khitai forces near the Okan River. The ensuing battle was a display of military prowess. Employing innovative tactics and strategies, Genghis Khan's forces triumphed over their adversaries. This victory marked the beginning of the Mongol conquest of Western Asia. In 1219, Genghis Khan turned his attention to the bustling city of Bukhara, the jewel of Central Asia. At the time, Bukhara was part of the Khwarezmid Empire. For the citizens of Bukhara, life had been relatively peaceful under the rule of the Khwarezmid, Shah Muhammad II. The city was a hub of trade, culture, and scholarship, attracting merchants and scholars from across the known world. But the tranquility was shattered with the arrival of Genghis Khan and his Mongol horde. The Mongol forces laid siege to the city, cutting off its water supply and bombarding it with arrows and catapults. The defense of Bukhara was valiant, but against the relentless Mongol onslaught, it was futile. The Mongol warriors, skilled horsemen and archers, overwhelmed the city's defenders. After several months of resistance, Bukhara fell. The consequences were devastating. The Mongols, known for their brutality, unleashed their fury upon the inhabitants of Bukhara. Homes were destroyed, treasures looted, and lives cut short. Genghis Khan, though a devout believer in his own religion, showed no mercy to those who followed different faiths. Mosques, temples, and churches were not spared from the pillage. Genghis Khan was driven by a desire to conquer and expand his empire. Bukhara, with its strategic location along the Silk Road, was a prize worth seizing. Yet despite the destruction, the spirit of Bukhara survived. Over time, the city rebuilt itself, becoming a center of Islamic scholarship under the Sassanids dynasty. The resilience of its people ensured that the pages of its history were not filled with despair, but with the promise of renewal. Napoleon Bonaparte, born in 1769 on the island of Corsica, Napoleon's story is one of ambition, military brilliance, and an insatiable drive for power. He rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most influential figures in European history. His journey began in the tumultuous period following the French Revolution, where chaos and upheaval had become the norm. As a young artillery officer, Napoleon distinguished himself during the French Revolutionary Wars, displaying tactical genius that belied his years. His victories on the battlefield brought him fame and recognition, propelling him to the rank of general at the age of just 27. But as the revolution settled and France sought stability, Napoleon's ambitions soared beyond the borders of his homeland. By 1799, he staged a coup, assuming control of France and marking the end of the French Revolution and the beginning of the Napoleonic era. With France as his base, Napoleon embarked on a campaign to dominate Europe. His armies, known for their discipline and efficiency, swept across the continent. One by one, European nations fell before his might. The Austrian Empire, the Kingdom of Sardinia, and the Dutch Republic were among the first to succumb to his ambitions. However, not all of Napoleon's conquests were met with submission. Wait just a second. If you haven't already, press like and subscribe. It really helps. And now back to our story. In 1806, he dissolved the Holy Roman Empire, an entity that had shaped European politics for centuries, effectively ending the medieval era and ushering in the modern age. But this act of dissolution came at a cost. Territories that had been part of the Holy Roman Empire were plunged into uncertainty, their fates hanging in the balance as Napoleon redrew the map of Europe according to his whims. Spain, once a formidable power under the rule of the Bourbon dynasty, became a victim of Napoleon's machinations. In 1808, he invaded the Iberian Peninsula, deposing the Portuguese royal family and placing his brother Joseph on the Spanish throne. This act triggered a wave of resentment and resistance. The Spanish people, fiercely proud of their heritage, rose up against the French invaders. Guerrilla warfare erupted across the countryside. Bands of Spanish fighters, known as guerrillas, launched hit-and-run attacks on the French, disrupting their supply lines and demoralizing their troops. For Napoleon, the Spanish resistance was an unexpected setback. He had underestimated the tenacity and determination of the Spanish people. What he had anticipated would be a swift and decisive campaign turned into a costly and protracted struggle. The war in Spain drained French resources and diverted troops from other fronts, impacting Napoleon's broader plans for European domination. Despite the challenges, Napoleon pressed on. But the spirit of Spain refused to be broken. The war in Spain not only demonstrated the resilience of a nation, but also showcased the limitations of Napoleon's military genius. While he had achieved remarkable victories across Europe, he had not anticipated the depth of resistance he would encounter in Iberia. The Spanish people's unwavering commitment to their independence became a testament to the indomitable spirit of a nation. And there you have it, the incredible stories of Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, and Napoleon Bonaparte. Through their conquests, we've seen how even in the face of overwhelming odds, the spirit of a nation can endure. These legends changed the course of history. But it's important to remember that their conquests didn't just erase civilizations, they shaped them. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Which of these legendary conquerors do you think made the most lasting impact on history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you loved this journey through time, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more epic adventures. Thanks for joining us today.